Today, on a very special episode of Geekgasm, 2 years in the making, we finally review the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. How was it, you ask? Today we have reached the grand finale of one of this show's most celebrated arcs. 2 years I have sat in front of you geeklings reporting on the development of this film, from the early alien bullshit to production delays to the casting of Stink Thumbs as April. Through it all, you have stuck with me and we have made it here together. So this is the payoff. An open, honest review of a film I all but protested these past 2 years. I mean, I feel that I owe them at least that much. No sensationalizing, just pure, unadulterated AC, and our thoughts on the film. Okay, well, maybe a little bit of that mixed in, but this is an entertainment show, for crying out loud. I'm not gonna take shit that seriously. Gah. Alright, so did we here at AC like the movie? No, we did not. Oh. When I say we in this context, I am referring to the 3 core members of Aggressive Comix, the individuals who created Geekgasm: Rich Cassidy, Dom Davis, and myself. I am sure there are some members of the extended AC family who enjoyed this film, as is their right and yours. Honestly, more power to ya. You know, unleash your rage if you must, call us trolls, say that we're not real fans, that the Ninja Turtles passed us by. Say whatever you want to say about a little opinion-based show on YouTube that you do not agree with. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to change the fact that we did not like this movie. Yes, we have had fun shitting on this film throughout its production, but not once did we root for it to fail. I mean, we have been Turtles fans since birth. For crying out loud, Rich and Dom used to crawl under tables and pretend it was their turtle lair last week. We wanted it to be good, so good that I could fire up this camera and rant and rave about how wrong we were. But the truth is, I don't think we were wrong. Do we think this film was an irredeemable maggot Latin turd with Ebola dressing? I wouldn't go that far, but this was no Ninja Turtles. The one key element the film did happen to get right was the 4 distinct personalities of the Ninja Turtles, and in truth, that is about it. So, let us run down the list of grievances, shall we? Before I start, there will be spoilers.
Spoilers.
So watch accordingly. First, Megan Fox. Even the folks who were pro-Bay Turtles knew that this casting just missed the mark. Get ready, because I'm about to drop some knowledge on yo asses. Megan Fox is a horrendous actress, okay? I struggle to find anything redeemable in her performance, aside from the fact that I could totally see her as a fluff piece reporter, jumping on trampolines, bouncy. It is the perfect analogy of her as an actress. Substanceless TNA. Can someone just please tell me why she delivers every line like Stevie from Malcolm in the Middle? You killed my father? How are you out of breath all the time, Megan? Someone just please give this bitch some albuterol or something. In all of her scenes with Splinter and the Turtles, she cannot find her eyeline whatsoever. This is most apparent when she meets Splinter in the turtle lair. And yeah, she's looking a complete 45 degrees in the wrong direction. I don't know who I should blame for such a mistake, her or the animators. Oh, the animators. It's like they saw Ang Lee's Hulk and went, perfect. Not only do the character models look plain old disturbing at times, especially Splinter, but the animation quality is so jarringly poor that it takes you out of the film. Most of the key action sequences and fights were so sloppily rendered that you would think the animatics were being processed at PlayStation 2. We knew this film's story was going to be a reimagining of the Turtles' origin. What we didn't realize, however, was that it would also be a reiteration of the plot for the Amazing Spider-Man film. It is a story that has been told many different ways, but what has always remained a constant is the fact that their exposure to the mutagen has always been accidental. This film decides to abandon that route and make them test subjects. Because, you know, when you want to test on how something's going to affect humans, you typically test on cold-blooded reptiles. Project Renaissance, April's father's involvement in their creation, April having them as pets and feeding them pizza occasionally. Just way too many dots being connected for the pure sake of it. In our eyes, the whole angle was just super forced and a little too convenient. Where was that wonderful sense of something springing into existence because of sheer chaos? Oh yeah, and fuck the teachings of Hamato Yoshi. I'm sure a How to Learn Ninjutsu book really irons out the finer and more subtle points of a secret and ancient martial art. Let's face it, gigantic, roided, bulletproof turtles are about as stealthy as John McClane wearing that sandwich board in Harlem at the beginning of Die Hard with a Vengeance. I will say that I am thankful that William Fichtner as Shredder was just a red herring. Quite honestly, the studio should have dispelled that bit of information from the get-go, because it really would have saved on all that negative attention from us alone. Shredder is indeed good ol' Orkusaki, or so we assume, because he was never really mentioned by name. However, he is underutilized, coming off more as a pawn of Eric Sachs, even though he is billed as the mastermind behind the Foot Clan. This film's Foot Clan is truly one of the more disappointing aspects of the film. I mean, there's absolutely nothing connecting this Foot Clan to its supposed rich and storied history in Japan. An army of paramilitary troopers armed to the teeth and wearing shitty Party City masks. And it's not like these gun-toting soldiers present that much of a challenge to the turtles because, oh yeah, they're bulletproof, remember? The Foot is more of a high-profile terrorist organization / crime syndicate than secret ninja society here. Sure, the inclusion of Karai was nice, but ultimately pointless, and if you blink, you might just miss Baxter Stockman. Don't blink! This time around, the Foot is pretty much funded by Eric Sachs, who upon learning of his test subjects, the Turtles' survival, he decides to enact his nefarious plan. The plan is to release a mutagenic virus in Manhattan from the spire of his company's skyscraper. Once everybody's infected, the company will administer the antidote using the Turtles' blood in which they harvested. You know, simple generic bad guy plot, and that's fine, but what made us laugh out loud in the theater was in the final act, when the turtles are about to disarm the device, the virus disperses, right? In a thick red cloud, straight out of Eric Sachs' building in broad daylight. New Yorkers get an unfair rep as meatheads, but even the meatiest head would be able to link Sachs to the outbreak by, I don't know, looking out the window. Christ, Jenny, you're taking a Metamucil-laced dump on this movie. What about the kids, you heartless bitch?
You've got mail.
For that, I am honestly grateful. Regardless of my feelings, more kids will be exposed to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because of this, and perhaps this will cause a legion of fans to flock to the various cartoons, comics, and films that have preceded this. I started off this review by saying that this was not Ninja Turtles, and I think I should explain what we mean by that in further detail. In every incarnation, above all, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is about 4 very different brothers, created by a freak accident, and uniting together as a team and as a family. The fundamental element is all but glossed over until the end. The bulk of what we received was a Megan Fox Latin collection of action shots and a few quips. The relationships between the 4 brothers and their master is barely fleshed out. The necessary strife between Leonardo and Raphael are slim to none. The main reason why this film failed in our eyes is because it has no heart. In closing, I would like to leave you with 2 excerpts from interviews given by Ninja Turtles creators Eastman and Laird from a documentary that's coming up called Turtle Power. I feel it pretty much sums up everything for us. I was working in a lobster restaurant in Maine, met a waitress that I really liked. We fell in love. She was going to school in Amherst. I moved with her to Amherst. Happened to have a getting-by job at a pizza place. Happened to be on a bus on the right day at the right time to find a copy of this magazine that somebody left behind that made me pursue my career goal of wanting to write and draw comic books. To this place in Northampton that led me to Peter, there were too many happy accidents. Back in 2001, I started up the Turtle comic again. I ended up really doing it myself, except for the penciling, which Jim Lawson did. I was plotting it, writing it, lettering it, toning it, doing the inking on the first few issues on it, and I was really having a lot of fun with it. I thought this was great, because I was able to pick up about 10 years after the last time I did a regular turtle book. And although it did appeal to a bunch of people, I also started getting a lot of people commenting, "Geez, I really like the old Eastman layered ones a lot better." And I think the problem people were having with it relates to one of those fortuitous circumstances that just comes along ever so often, where two people of largely different personalities can get together and work together on something, and the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So, what about you guys? Can you believe it's finally over? What did you think of the final product? Were we out of line or right all along? As always, like, comment, subscribe, share, and get a nice spirited debate going, because this was certainly a monumental one for us. And be sure to bring your pretty selves to aggressivecomics.com for all the latest and greatest in geeky news. And until we meet again, stay geeky, my friends. Fuck, man. I'm just feeling, like, really empty inside right now, because, I don't know, 2 years. And it's all over. What do I do now, you know? Thank you. Thing. Michael Bay announces sequel to Ninja Turtles movie. Release date is set to be June 3rd, 2016.